Aloha, friends and neighbors. Welcome to show 1001 in Astrology, Ancient Science in the Modern World. I got some interesting things to share with you today. And, I'm back here on January, and it happens to be on my birthday. I'm doing the show a little early because, I realize that Monday's a holiday, called Martin Luther King Day. Well, me and Martin Luther King share a birthday. Yes, January 16th, 17th, 27-degree Capricorns. And one of my good friends just stopped by here and gave me a birthday present. I thought I'd share it with you because he's been watching the show for a long time, very wise man. And what he brought me was a collector pure silver coin of Ben Franklin. And I've been accused of being a reincarnated Ben Franklin, who of course was an astrologer. But Martin Luther King and my hero Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, all these guys and myself share a certain thing, and that is the abhorrence of slavery. You may not know that Congress made a special law to shut Ben Franklin up so he couldn't talk about slavery anymore. And and then 1 month before he died, his birthday was January 16th. On February 16th, so he marched into Congress and pretty much said, "Screw you guys," and spoke for hours about the evils of slavery. And then he went home, and then on March 16th he died. A month later. So he's just, anyway, you probably know the stories of Muhammad Ali, who said, "Hell no, I'm not going to Nam and kill for you people." And I grew up in Oakland, I didn't understand what prejudice was at all till, Dow Chemical sent me down south to the oil field, and bang, what I saw there, outraged. So, of course, Martin Luther King spent a lifetime, and so did Muhammad Ali, and so did Ben Franklin, trying to write just speaking out, in certain ways and in certain flavors. So I'm very proud to share this birthday with these guys. All of them are really my heroes. So, what's going on for you in the next 10 days? Well, I got a chart for you, and what I'm going to do is run the moon around the edge of it, and as the moon makes angles to the planetary patterns, it generates the mood of the times, kind of like the collective unconscious. It's like a movie that moves along and we all participate and can read it a little bit. So, interesting thing is going on here. In fact, right now, there's Pluto, is slavery. And here's Pluto had been giving us trouble, squaring Uranus. The powers of the gun. Well, the sun is at 16 degrees of Aquarius. Tomorrow, if you're on a Thursday show, this is Friday, it's at 16 degrees, makes an exact 30-degree angle to Pluto. This little we call a semi-sextile. Forget the technical stuff, it's a seesaw. And so when the sun gets to a seesaw point with Pluto, it's time to give up some Pluto, sacrifice Pluto. Sun is always up, Pluto goes down on the seesaw. What's Pluto? Well, it is weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, atom bombs. What? Korea's got a hydrogen bomb? The bomb thing for the nations is the same as the gun things in your neighborhood. Most policemen abhor handguns. It started with the British. The British, you look at old movies, all the old guys in the 30s, they all carry these little teeny guns in their pockets. They outlawed that across the West for 100 years. There's no cowboys carrying 6 guns on their hips. They're heavy. They prefer the long guns. You can hit something with a long gun. Can't hit nothing with a little pistol. But the cops are all carrying them, and they're shooting people and shooting themselves and accidentally shooting innocent people. And it's just not right. And they don't need these things. They've got tasers and clubs and gas bombs and all kind of things. They just don't need it, but we're stuck in it like an old movie. And if you realize in the Old West, cowboys never carried 6 guns like that. No. You know, if you go back and look at the Old West, I think there was only one face-off duel where they drew on each other, but the rest, all the killings in the Old West was a shotgun in the back, kabow, you know, shotguns or something else. I mean, all the policemen have a 12-gauge shotgun, a pump in the car. Yeah. So, you know, they just don't need these handguns and all the accidents and the stupid things, pull and shoot, bang, bang. You know, it's just ridiculous. So get rid of the handguns on the police and outlaw them in the populace, and everybody will be happy. Now, Friday, tomorrow, the sun will be there, and you can say, okay, you know, let's talk about this. Isn't there a police department someplace that will voluntarily give up pistols? You know, keep the AK-47 in your trunk if you want, Mr. Policeman. You know, shoulder the shotgun on a strap, but leave the handgun out. Take it out of your world, and your kids won't find it and shoot themselves. And gee, there must be a police department someplace that will voluntarily do the experiment. I say we do it on the Big Island because if we do, all the tourists will come here. But what would the Big Island policeman say? If we say, look, we want you to stop wearing that pistol everywhere, you know. We're just going to take the pistol off your hip and your back will stop getting crooked and you can sit in your car without that big thing there. And you don't need it. I mean, Pluto's a funny planet. The more it gives you power, complete control. I've got the gun. I've got the atomic weapon. I'm the cop. I'm the, you know. So atomic weapons for nations, you know, guns for people. It's Pluto. And listen, the law of nature is the more power you have, the less you use it. The more venomous the creature, the less they bite. Little coral snakes bite you, you're dead in one bite. They never bite. Insects, all the world of nature, the best policeman never draws his gun. Ask the old-timers. They're proud of never drawing a gun and never firing a shot. Why should they carry the dumb things around? If you get rid of them everywhere, all pistols off the Big Island of Hawaii is easy to do. You know, you stop them at the airport. You pay people to buy up the old ones. Let people have long guns. Legalize all long guns for everybody. But get rid of the short guns. Okay, enough said. Pluto. Ben Franklin would agree. So would Muhammad Ali. So would Martin Luther King. So would most of your policemen. They don't like carrying a gun around. They're afraid somebody's going to grab their pistol off their hip and shoot them. So, okay, enough Pluto. Get rid of Pluto! Yes, that includes some pesticides, agents of mass destruction. Okay, we're going to run the moon around the edge. Let's see what's going on for you. Shift over to your life. End of Pluto lecture. If you're on the Thursday night show, well, you're getting a little Neptune, getting a little higher Jesus work here. Some higher compassion comes out. It's mostly just before breakfast on Friday when the moon sextiles Neptune. It's kind of nice Friday. But Friday night, here we're going into Freaky Friday. I should call this Fearful Friday. We're having them for a while. It'll drift back into Thursdays after a bit. This Pluto-Uranus square, been around a long time. But here it is again. On Friday night, February 5th, people are going to panic. Some policeman will think the homeless guy is going to attack him, and bang. So, you know, this is not a Friday to be out in the evening. No. Take your, you know, in the morning is great. Go to church. You know, drink some champagne with your breakfast. But stay home Friday night because there'll be sirens and panicky stuff, and this allows me frantic, freaky, fearful Friday. Poet and don't know it. Comes up here real strong, you know, around dinner time too. You know, Pluto comes first, and there's panic, and then comes the square to Uranus. Now, Mars is right now sextiling Pluto. So policemen and people with guns think they're in control. you can have a lot of innocent bystanders are going to pull guns and, chase robbers, and they'll shoot them. And then they say, well, I was just being a policeman. No, we're starting to see that already. There are too many heroes willing to go and risk their lives to be a hero. I'll tell you that. Jupiter here is trining Pluto, and Mars is sextiling it. And so, here's the hero guys, and here's a lot of rich people saying, oh yeah, guns are good, let's give everybody a gun. Okay, now over here we have Saturn at Sag trining Uranus, sextiling the Sun, and they all want to get rid of guns. And here's the judge, here's the environmentalist, here's the fathers. Get rid of those damn things. It's a safety hazard for everybody. It's a safety hazard, folks. It's not political. It's just a matter of safety for the officers and the public. Just get rid of the damn handguns. It's a safety issue. So, okay, where am I at? I got lost again in my own preaching. Well, it's my birthday. I'll say what I want. Okay, so Freaky Friday, you're past it. And when you get into Saturday, Venus is there kind of close. Venus is on Pluto. And matter of fact, Friday night, whoa, it's a tricky time because Venus is the morning star Venus. She's Lucifer, not the evening star Venus, Hesperus, the beautiful girl. She's the evil star the Mayans would hide from, and she's conjunct Pluto. So here's a pretty girl who might be a policeman or have a gun, and could play hero. And this thing is fraught with many difficulties. Now, for you personally, when Venus hits Pluto and sextiles Mars, it could get really sexy. I mean porno sexy, okay? And so this is very sexy time, very romantic time, and yet that's all going off here at 16 and 17, and then Uranus kicks in and interrupts it all, and there's sirens and panics, and whoo. So I wouldn't trust this Friday night at all. It's a very peculiar time. You're going to see some peculiar news. You just watch inside yourself when Venus goes by Pluto and sextiles Mars. You will get very, very horny. You'll see pictures of inside. Your inside pictures will turn into, pink porn and stuff. So look out. There's a guy with a whip here, too. All right. Saturday morning. The moon's still in Capricorn. You're going to feel a little bit of that Friday night panic, and it'll wear off as you go on. And the moon hits Mercury here. The kids are talking, and there's movement, and talking is good. You get you out of that weird feeling you had. Saturday night, the moon leaves Capricorn, goes into Aquarius. All the vibes change. Oh, this feels better. It's not about power and control. No, it's about proper fathering. The sun is here. You're going towards the new moon, which happens Sunday night at 19 Aquarius. This new moon sextiles Saturn and sextiles Uranus. We're back in the revolutionary ideas of common sense and the age of Aquarius. And this new moon says the heck with the guns. And the trouble is, the new moon, when it goes off, squares Mars. So we're going to have a month of being kind of angry, flashes of anger. Who's being angry? They're going to take our guns. No, we're not going to take your guns. Just the pistols. You don't want them anyway. Got to pay for them, Pay double and we'll get them off the Big Island fast. We'll make it up in tourists. So this is a delightful new moon. I'm totally in harmony with it. It's air fire, and it brings out that Aquarian spirit again. And this time Saturn's in harmony with it. The judge is going to okay the environmental stuff. And that's what it's all about. It's the things we all share together. and make some headway on this global warming thing. And we don't care about the rich people and the gun people. So what we care about is the water and the air and the food. And, corporate America has ruined a lot of it, including the food. So it's time to get a handle on those guys. And we got a whole month here to make some laws and to make some progress that's very real on this thing after the Sunday night new moon. So Haley on, guys. Let's see. There's Saturn, and the square to Mars actually comes up late Sunday night, and so you can get a lot of Aquarian business done here. Woodstock, stand up. It's time to speak out. You're not baby boomers. You're Woodstock. and Mars. Well, if you're feeling a little extra energy, just ask yourself what you're protecting. Mars is in square, you got to deal with it, and maybe there's some physical work to do that you're not understanding. When you do, the anger will go away, and it'll just be physical work to do. But this is a nice new moon. I'm really happy to see it again. Yeah, we had one 2 months ago, and 2 months ago before that. So, nice break from all the politics. Do some environmental stuff. Hooray! Monday, you're still feeling it. The moon's still in Aquarius until after dinner when it shifts into Pisces. And then it becomes more artistic, religious, a little more right-wing. A lot of religious people, what do they call them? Evangelistics or something? They pump up these fearful Republican fears who want to restrict things, and so I'm always a little careful about Neptune. But here on Tuesday, in the middle of the day, the moon goes by Neptune. It's no afflictions here. It's a good time to, when you read the Bible, whenever you see the word heavens, put in sky. King James changed it so you wouldn't see astrology there. No, I get something to say about this. Well, let's go through the rest of the week first. So it starts with some bliss and some music in the middle of Tuesday with the moon in Pisces, but by the time you get to midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning, there's a square to Saturn. It's cold, and you're beginning to really worry about things. You have some control over it, and Mars is there. There's young men at 1 or 2 in the morning. They're going to be out, getting your car out of the snowdrift for you, stuff like that. So there's heroes here, and this scary Saturn square isn't going to last long. There's an opposition to Jupiter. We're not very happy with lawyers and liberals here for some reason, and rich people. That feeling comes up about lunchtime on Wednesday, the 10th, when the moon opposes Jupiter. The hell with those Jupiter people! I see all our politicians in the Big Island have gone over to Honolulu to raise money at dinners. What for? To find people who are going to influence them into ripping off the Big Island. This is very sick and very sad that all of our politicians are out raising money in Honolulu. Anyway, I don't like this. I don't like the PACs and the influence of big money in our world right now. It's a nasty thing. But after noontime here, there's nice sextile to Venus. There's some pleasure and fun, sweetness. The kids are really happy at dinner time. There's a sextile to Mercury. And so the moon in Pisces ends on a happy note Wednesday afternoon and evening. On Thursday, the moon goes into Aries, and you start to feel a little tense again. You get through Thursday okay, but early Friday morning, here's Freaky Friday. Here's Panicky Freaky Friday again. See, it's drifted back into early Friday morning. And, the moon's going by Uranus, and so you can get some environmental stuff done. But, don't get hung up with police and guns and stuff like that. Instead, let's get something done with realistic goals. That's what I think could work out Friday morning, the 12th of February. And there's this nice sextile to the sun in the afternoon of Friday. Says, yeah, we're getting stuff done. Friday night, well, square to Venus. After dinner, no fun, no pleasure, no sweets, can't be satisfied. Midnight, square to Mercury, too much squabbling, people going around in circles. So Friday night isn't so hot. But Friday morning, oh yeah, you still get sirens here. Saturday, on the 13th, the moon goes into Taurus, settles down considerably. At dinner time, there's a nice sextile to Neptune. Music, art, color. Come fill the cup. Enjoy a little higher consciousness of the heart. Saturday afternoon and evening. Sunday morning, February 14th. Is that Valentine's Day? I'm not sure. There's a nice trine to Pluto. Oh, guns are okay, and a trine to Jupiter. The rich people say, yeah, get more. Look out. Here's the opposition to Mars. We're ticked off. Fathers are ticked off. It goes right through Sunday afternoon to the square to the sun. And you'll feel that Sun-Mars square. Ask yourself what you're protecting. You start to get impatient and angry. And you're just not understanding how to protect. That's what Mars's job is. So, this is a nice test for you. As soon as you're impatient or angry, just ask yourself, what am I protecting? What am I protecting? What am I protecting? Whoop, whoop. There's a cop working a Leahy Drive down by my home. Oh, well. Friday, Freaky Friday. I don't know how I got stuck here with... Anyway. A little angry on Sunday? Ask yourself what you're protecting. Keep asking until when you understand what you're protecting, anger goes away, bang, and what you got is physical things to do. So it's good practice on controlling Mars on Sunday. That's the key word to understanding it all, is ask yourself what you're protecting. Yeah, you ask other people what they're protecting, you're not sure what they're going to come up with, huh? What would Ben Franklin do anyway? What would he do? Happy birthday, Ben! Here's some animal story for you. I'm learning to watch. I pick up animal channels and cat and dog humor, and it makes you laugh, and it really relaxes you. That's important for your health. So I'm looking at these wonderful dog videos people did on YouTube, and this guy said a dog is the only creature on earth that loves you more than he loves himself. Wow, the dogs in my life have been like that. I think the dog's more special than any. Hey, I was out in the street walking home, and a big, huge Labrador came down the street. Nice man and lady walking him, and he had a long, strong leash on him, and my little cat, Elima, came out to greet me, and standing on the edge of the road, that the dog just went crazy and went into road rage, and lunged, and the man could hardly keep the dog back. And my little cat, Lima, we call her, didn't turn a hair, marched right out into the middle of the street and got between me and that lunging, vicious dog, and faced that dog, right? Look him in the eye. The dog just went off. He just couldn't believe it. I'm sure the cat had a plan, but I'd put cat in here with dog, because my cat clearly put herself total jeopardy, and it was all to save me. Oh, there I am. Why am I here? Well, when I was they found out how smart I was. They tried to get me into engineering, cycle me into the Air Force. You go to Berkeley, you got to take ROTC. So I had all these science and math courses when I was there. It was terrible. But I had a free course once, and I took something called cultural anthropology, where you're exposed to some of this stuff. Wow. The world opened up. Different cultures. Wow. Yeah. By the way, Here's my dad. And when he's young and when he's older, there's my grandfather and my dad. There's one of my sons, Michael, the young boy. Here's Matt, another son of mine, Aries rising. There's Matt. He's a wonderful guy. And here's another son, Chris. So this is I hang this on my wall. These are my heroes. And I got a little hero thing here from the army I keep there. So that's what that is. But back to this idea. What I wanted to tell you was, I realized I'd been told that all these cultures were a bunch of Indians who were all superstitious. I believed that all this was superstition. And now I realize, after studying the ancient sciences, that we're the ones kind of in ignorance. And what I wanted to tell you is that if your ideas, if your credo, if your gestalt, the way you see the world, or zeitgeist, is in conflict with many older cultures elsewhere in other parts of the world, cultures from the other parts of the world, there's a Hindu, there's a Chinese, there's an African, and elsewhere in time, ancient cultures, if you're in conflict with them, like for instance, I got a lot. I told myself on my solar return here, I'm going to start broaching some subjects nobody else wants to talk about because I'm getting too old to fool around. Let's just talk about one, namely ghosts. Are there such thing as ghosts? Everybody, no, they're just superstition. But when you go back and look at other cultures, they all talk about ghosts. They all do things. You compare yourself to ancient wisdoms, and if your zeitgeist is in conflict, well, you better question yourself, because they're not just superstitions. No, those people were alive, and they were smart, and they were organic, and you got to respect their ideas. So, when I started studying, when I got my first shot of cultural anthropology, bang, I started my own studies, and I found out right away the cultures I wanted to study were those that had a chance, that were ancient, that had 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years to develop, largely in environments where they weren't influenced by others. So I got into Bambooty Pygmies, a wonderful book called The Forest People by Colin Turnbull. And I started looking at Eskimos. And, the Pygmies live in the Ituri Forest. Nobody goes in there. None of the other Africans can. They have a unique culture. And